Hello, I'm Dave Scott. Thank you very much for joining us in the Civic Center TV studios and live on 89.3 Lakes FM. Today joined by Chief Greg Flynn of the West Bloomfield Police Department and Jennifer Tucker, the Executive Director of West Bloomfield Parks and Rec. Good to have both of you with us.
Good to see you, Dave.
Well, of course, we are here again today talking about the coronavirus. Chief, do you have an update for us?
So, as we spoke just a few days ago, Dave, we were preparing for the arrival of the virus. We knew that it was spreading across the country. We knew that there's a very good chance that West Bloomfield, the greater West Bloomfield area, would be touched by the virus, and we have now. There's a couple cases now, 3 cases in Oakland County specifically. And the good news is that we're seeing very good reception of the message of prevention from our community. We've talked about it. You've heard about it. We're going to talk about it again today. The importance of hand washing, the importance of disinfecting high-touch surfaces, covering a cough, and we're adding social distancing today. That idea of creating a space between you and I.
Excuse me.
One more barrier. Yeah, one more barrier between us, and that 6-foot distance is very helpful. So we know it's a droplet spread, and so those droplets are going to fall, gravity will take over, and that 6-foot distance is going to help, again, prevent the disease transmission.
So it's been an interesting series of developments we've had over the past 48 hours plus with our own live television broadcast a couple of days ago, our State of the Communities. How surreal doing that at Abbott Middle School with nobody in the room, and that's happening all across our country. NHL, NBA, baseball, gatherings. I now hear the governor saying gatherings of over 250. We're going to draw the line there. But very locally here in West Bloomfield, for people that may be getting together with a group of people that's more than their family, what should they keep in mind?
Well, kudos to the elected officials at the State of the Communities who put community first, who put their residents first and said, you know what, this is the call we want to make. We want to make sure that our residents are safe. We want to deliver the message, and we can do that with our friends at Civic Center TV, but there's no reason to, a real opportunity to model how we don't want to have those large groups of people come together. So that is true, and as for the question of even people having small gatherings at their homes, you know, if you listen to the news, if it's the state of Michigan or Wisconsin or Ohio or Florida or wherever you are, you hear numbers that are all over the place. Is it 100 people, 200 people, 50 people? We know how the disease is transmitted, and it's transmitted when people are close. So the number is 5 people, 10 people, 15 people. We're asking a big ask from people. We need you to stop those groups of people from being together.
When I think about groups of that size here in West Bloomfield, I can't help, Jennifer Tucker from West Bloomfield Parks and Recreation, think about your activities, classes, community gatherings, your new senior center. Let's talk about what's going on over at Parks.
So, as you said, Dave, we are trying to mitigate those occurrences when people are close in proximity. And so we have, the Parks Commission is very diligent in being aware of health and safety in our community. And we just want to make sure that those types of interactions are occurring within our programming. So what we have done is actually closed our indoor facilities. Our outdoor facilities are still open, so you still can go take a walk in nature. You can still go to the playground, but still have those items that Chief Flynn has mentioned. Continue with the hand washing. Continue with making sure those touch points that you are cognizant of washing your hands after you touch door handles, faucets, what have you. But for the present moment, we are closed to the public. Our indoor facilities, we're still operating. You just don't see us. You still can call us, check our website. Be glad to share that with you. It's www.wbparks.org. You can get all the information there. But as it stands right now, we're taking a little break to make sure that the health of our residents is upheld.
Well, I think it's a great idea. Thank you for sharing that with me. And thank you for being the first person in the last couple of days that's told me about something I can do outside of my home. So, I mean, that's a great idea. Go for a walk. Take your pets down one of the trail. A couple of people going for a walk is certainly less than 250 people getting together. And you're in that outdoor environment, Chief Flynn, is it less likely that we would have a transmission?
Well, clearly, that will underscore the social distancing objective that we're trying to achieve, and we know that there are issues that come with isolation. So that opportunity to get outside and walk and enjoy some of the parks here in West Bloomfield is very appropriate. But like Director Tucker mentioned, if I had a group of kids that were all on the same playground, we want to be the adult. That's something that you want to create that distance. But out on the trails, enjoying some of the waterfront and taking some of the sights in, absolutely appropriate to get out and enjoy some of the beauty here in West Bloomfield.
We think about why the NBA had to ramp down, and you've got athletes perspiring in close proximity to fans and in a locker room environment, but maybe playing a game of softball outside, you're really not that close to people.
Yeah, we are, again, when you look at the number of people that have been impacted and the things that we're so accustomed to in March Madness and the things that you're seeing postponed or rescheduled, that should underscore how important it is that we all get on board with this. And I know that there are those that doubt this. This isn't going to happen. We haven't seen this before. And when we haven't experienced something like this, we have a tendency to doubt. I'm asking each and every resident in this community, in the communities that can see the Civic Center TV message, to please adhere to these instructions that we're sharing with you. It's so very important for all of us.
Right, we don't want to be the community that the nation is talking about. Moreover, we live here, so anything we can do to prevent the spreading of the disease right now is really going to help. Let's talk in a minute about the different organizations we have here in West Bloomfield, and of course, houses of worship, other schools, of course, the schools are closed down, but businesses, restaurants, other places that people would go, and maybe we talk a little bit about how this impacts some of those. Also want to share with you a number of websites that you can go to get information. Starting locally right here in West Bloomfield, the West Bloomfield Police Department Facebook and the Police Department Twitter sites have information. On Civic Center TV, go to civiccentertv.com/coronavirus, and you can get all the information that we have. The West Bloomfield Township website will have more information for you. And then on a national level, the Department of Human Health Services, the Michigan Department of Human Health Services has information, and nationally, the Center for Disease Control. So a lot of places you can go to get more information, and we're going to put links on the Civic Center TV website to all those places. We'll be back in a minute. We'll talk more about our local places of business, places where we gather here, and some precautions for the next couple of days and weeks. Back in a moment, we will continue with the special news update here on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM is your home for emergency information in Greater West Bloomfield. When a public safety issue arises, we'll have the information that you need for your hometown. Information that you need to know when you need to know it about the place that matters most, home. Exclusively from Civic Center TV, 89.3 Lakes FM, and live streamed online at lakesfm.com. Media that's close to home.
Welcome back. This is a special Civic Center TV and Lakes FM news update, the coronavirus. I'm Dave Scott from Civic Center TV and Lakes FM, joined by Chief Greg Flynn of the West Bloomfield Police Department and Jennifer Tucker, the Executive Director of West Bloomfield Parks and Recreation. So, Chief, if you're sick, hey, how do you know? What do you do? Where do you go? You got some strategies for us?
Well, what we're reminding everyone that if they have a fever, if they have a cough or sneeze, now we're no longer talking just about international travel. The virus is within domestic travel as well. So if they have been traveling anywhere, Those are all indicators that you are at a much higher risk for the infection. We want you to reach out to your general practitioner, your doctor, your family doctor. We do not want you to get in the car, go to the doctor's office. We don't want you to go to the emergency rooms and say, well, I'm just curious. I think I'm feeling well and I'd like to get tested. That's not going to happen. That's not the way that it's going to work. So some folks aren't going to have a general practitioner. They don't have a family doctor. So we want to encourage you to reach out to a resource here in Oakland County. Our friends at Oakland County Health, 1-800-848-5533. That's the nurse on call, 1-800-848-5533. And that line will be answered by a registered nurse. They will help direct you to health care if necessary, or will coach you along for managing supportive care with the flu-like symptoms.
Jennifer Tucker, good to have you here again today. Thank you very much. Your organization works with a lot of seniors in the communities, getting them together. They are generally healthy when they do that. What kind of things can seniors do during this period of time to get together and interact with other people? Do you have any ideas?
Well, as Chief Flynn was mentioning, we want to continue that social distancing. So unfortunately, sometimes that is not possible, that they can congregate. But as we had talked about, a couple things they can do is spring has sprung, and they can go out and take advantage of our trail. There's many things out there that are popping up, flowers, different animals they can keep an eye out for. But honestly, being out in nature, studies do show that it is overall makes you healthy as a whole being, including mental health and physical health.
Okay, so get outside. If you're going out to eat in West Bloomfield, we certainly don't want to do anything to hurt our businesses, but is that a good idea to go out for a dinner tonight?
If you're feeling well and you are going out in a small group, especially that same group that you cohabitate with, if you will, it is very appropriate to go out. And I think many of and we're encouraging our businesses to keep those high-touch surfaces clean. They have every incentive to do that. They want us to come in, keep their businesses going. We need to find a balance in doing so. But still, we're taking our hand sanitizer with us.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't interrupt you. Can I ask you, though, a question about the hand sanitizer issue? Because I went to the store last night, and there's no hand sanitizer to find anywhere. Can we just take maybe some alcohol that we would get, like some rubbing alcohol, and use that to clean with, or is that not going to work?
No, we're not going to encourage too much of that. Okay. We really want to keep you with the commercial products that are made for that specific reason. But you don't need the hand sanitizer. Remember when we talked last time, just warm water, a lather, and 20 seconds of aggressive hand washing, and then a rinse, and then actively drying your hands with a disposable paper towel. That pulls all of that debris that you just washed off with the emulsifier, the soap. And that's the hand washing process we want to encourage all the way through. But you do all of that, enjoy a nice meal. Again, we're encouraging businesses, which is difficult for them too, that all the food prep, the servers, they need to be feeling well too. And those are the folks with responsible business owners and healthy patrons. I think we can continue to keep some of our local businesses, restaurants going. What about going to church on Sunday or synagogue on Friday night? I think you're going to find, if you haven't heard already from your house of worship, that's changing. The different denominations, the different religious groups within their own responsible commitment to our community are already providing guidance to their religious leaders. And so I think you're going to continue to see that as we move into the weekend, that you're going to see some alternatives. Whether there's a webcast or some televised service or just something different. Different is coming, and different, Dave, unfortunately, is probably going to be here to stay for a little bit. Do we have any idea how long we may be going through this experience? Or is it just a matter of let's wait and see? Well, we're just now starting to see data come in from China as their numbers per day are starting to go down. So if those numbers hold, and And truly, I hesitate to talk about numbers because we know how quickly they can change. But they've put the mitigation strategies in place. It's seen the impact. I think that we're not to that point where we're seeing the numbers go in the direction we'd like to see them go. And you could see that from last night. I checked the numbers around 5 or 6 o'clock, and we were at 3. And then just a short time after that, we were at 12 cases along with 26 pending test results. So I expect to see that number updated tonight. And unfortunately, I think being the responsible advisor to the Township Supervisor, that we're going to probably continue to see that number climb in Michigan for at least the next few days.
All right, so the mission now for all of our friends here in West Bloomfield is to do everything they can to slow the spread of this disease, avoid congregating in large groups, follow all the recommendations, the health recommendations, washing your hands and the other activities, and then if you're feeling sick, call that number 800-848-5533, the number at Oakland County.
And there'll be a nurse there to help guide you
And
through.
they're going to say, hey, you better get in and get a check, or you might be okay. Wait a couple of more days. Chief Flynn, anything else you'd like to add?
Well, I think you hit it there. Almost a hashtag slow the COVID-19 spread. We need to get everybody in the community on board with the mission of stopping the spread. Everybody plays a role in that. The schools are playing a role in that by making that very difficult decision to close. Our houses of worship are making that decision to alter how they're bringing groups together, even if it's virtually. And it's uncomfortable and it's different, but we need to embrace it. And it's very challenging for some of us to believe that it's going to happen. And we're here to tell you that it can. And if you take the right steps, we definitely can change that trajectory.
And Jennifer Tucker, I'm really glad you're here. Having you here is fantastic because it just reminds me of the great team that we have here in West Bloomfield. You, Chief Flynn, Kurt Lawson at the police department, who's back here in the studio with us right now, the other leaders in the township, all of our elected officials. We got a great team here, right?
Absolutely, and we're all here for the health and wellness and encourage our residents, and we want them all to stay happy and healthy.
All right. Anything else to add? All right. Well, thank you very much for being here, Chief Greg Flynn, Jennifer Tucker from Parks and Rec. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy your day. Be aware of the hazards. Be careful. And I would invite you to stay tuned here to Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. We'll continue to have more and more updates, talk to the experts, and certainly talk to you in the community and other people as we go through all of this together. This has been a special news update, the coronavirus, for Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. I'm Dave Scott.